Moonshine has its roots in the hills of eastern Kentucky, but now in the sleepy backwaters of western Kentucky, in the heart of the Bible Belt, there's a new spirit brewing. Just like Prohibition and the Great Depression gave birth to the moonshiners, today's tough economy has created a whole new booming industry. The old has become new again. Welcome to Hillbilly Stills.
Whiskey is my business, none of that wine. A few minutes with me, you're gonna feel fine. If you're looking for a good time, don't look far. We pour fun right out of a jar. We keep it real. Hillbilly Stills.
Father and son, Mike and Matt Haney, started Hillbilly Stills in Barlow, Kentucky. They do things the old-fashioned way, by a lot of hard work. When you work hard, you get to play hard. Mike's ready to get away for a couple of days for a little vacation, but Matt has some plans of his own.
I've been talking to Dad and kind of dropped some ideas on him about building a mash tun, which what it's for is you put a false bottom in a tank that you can heat one way. That you can do it with, we did it with electric, you can do it with steam or gas or however you want to do it. And you've got to agitate it because what it's for is for cooking your grain when you're making either ethanol or if you're making a bourbon or brandy or whatever, or not brandy, but a bourbon or a whiskey. Then you got to cook your grain, and you got to be able to hold it at a constant temperature at different temperatures for different things you'd add in. So it's not something that I knew we wouldn't put it in production, but it was just, I think I can do it kind of deal. I wanted Dad to let me play, and he didn't tell me no, but he wouldn't let me do it while he was here. So as soon as he left, I knew that I was gonna do it while he was gone. Because I knew if I did it and it worked out, he would be okay. On the other hand, I knew if I did it and it didn't work, I wasn't gonna be sitting down for a while.
Man, I had this trip to Sturgis planned for I don't know how long. Been real excited about going. Good group of guys I was heading out there with. But you know, we took it in 2 days getting out there, saw a lot of neat stuff, and it's good to get away from the shop and don't worry about anything. But on the other hand, when I'm out there, I kind of know how Matt and them are. When I leave the shop, they'll start thinking about things they want to build that a lot of times I've told them, you know, we don't need to mess with that. We need to go ahead with what we're doing and build what we know how to build. We'll learn how to build other stuff later. So that's kind of been on my mind because I know how they are. And very capable hands. Matt does a great job in the shop, but that's the problem. He's got a lot of ideas and they just spin out of control sometimes. So little concerned about maybe what I find when I get home.
Leaving the business in Matt's hands, despite his doubts, Mike's ready to hit the road, treading copper tubes and steel pots for the open roads and open skies that lead to Sturgis, South Dakota.
So I've been thinking. I figured Dad's out in Sturgis. Going to Skid Row concerts, Cinderella concerts, all that old man crap. And we've been talking about this mash tun over here, or making this fermenter a mash tun. And he wasn't real hip on it. He didn't say no, but he sure didn't say yes. I figure me and you can take a day out and play and see if we can make this thing work. But if we don't make it work, he's gonna be pretty mad. That's about $1,000 fermenter there that we're gonna have all messed up.
I think we can get it right for him.
You think we can?
Oh yeah.
Well, Let's look at it and see what we can figure out on it. All right, man, so if we're gonna make a mash tun out of this, this is what me and Dad had discussed before he decided that I would mess it up. I've got some big sheets that perforated stainless.
Yeah.
I've got one big sheet that we use on our gin baskets and stuff. And we're gonna have to make a false bottom in the bottom here. Because what we're gonna have to do is put two 2-inch ferrules somewhere on it to bring it up. We gotta get it up to 185 degrees.
Oh, to put heat elements in it?
Yeah, and we'll use that controller so we can use both elements. So what I'm thinking is we got some stainless around here, some stainless sheets, and if we can, hopefully we've got enough that we can actually figure out the circumference of this, and we'll take that sheet and make us a footing that'll be however long the circumference is. And once we get that made, then we can just bring it around, weld the two ends together, and we'll have a perfect circle. The circumference we need it to be, weld our perforated stainless on top, and then we got our false bottom. Then we'll have to cut notches in it for our elements to go through. But here's the next thing, and tell me what you think, because we're gonna have to agitate this some way. And the lid on this particular fermenter is not strong enough to hold the air agitator. It won't work. So what I was thinking is we'd come in the side over here somewhere and inject air. Which will do two things. It'll keep this thing moving and agitating while we're heating it. And it's also going to shove oxygen into it.
I think we need, let's do it like straight down the middle. Yeah, we're blowing it up.
Come in from the bottom?
Yeah, because then it will turn it easier.
Okay, what about?
Or down low.
Well, I had thought about if we come in down at the bottom somewhere, probably maybe actually below the false bottom, and we bring a tube in and drill several holes in the side of it to run the air down through, and then I'll do exactly what you were saying.
Yeah.
Because I was toying with that. Do we want to bring air in at an angle so it shoves this and swirls it? But I don't think that's going to work, because I think what's going to do, well, you'd have to shoot so much air in there. I don't think it'd be feasible. I think we're going to have to do it, work off, the bubble effect of the air. I think that'll work. Think we can do it?
Let's go.
Think we're going to mess it up?
No, not too bad.
Maybe he'll be in a good mood when he gets home. He ought to be.
Man, we got at Sturgis is unbelievable. The number of motorcycles, I've never seen that many in my life. When you get into the town of Sturgis, every street you look down, there's motorcycles down each side of the street, parked down the center of the street, too deep. We got to see some real cool stuff out there. Went to some neat places. It's probably the biggest party in the United States I've ever seen. We got to see Mount Rushmore. We went by the Crazy Horse Monument. We saw Devil's Tower. Did a lot of riding while we were out there. Rode 1,300 miles to get there, and man, we had a great time. Good group of guys. We stayed in a little town called Belfouche, South Dakota. I think population's about 600, so it was a real neat place. Very hospitable. We look forward to next year, matter of fact. So.
With Mike safely away, Matt has now finished his plans for the new still, but he doesn't have a budget to work with, so he's having to piece things together out of what he can find in the shop.
Well, once Nathan and I worked out how we were going to do it, then we had to start digging around, because I couldn't spend any money on it. I had to work pretty much with what I had at the shop, and found all the scrap we needed and got everything going on that. But then I didn't have a valve that I needed, because I was going to agitate it with air, and I didn't have a valve, so I had to go get it, which meant I paid for it out of my pocket. I sure didn't pay for it with his money.
Well, Matt and Nathan have already started to run into problems when they come across a valve that they need that they're going to have to buy. So Matt heads off down to the local hardware store and digs into his own money to buy one.
Yeah, I don't know why Matt decided to build this while Mike was gone, because when Mike gets back, if we fail at it, Mike will be really mad, but if we succeed at it, he's gonna like it a lot. It's just some stuff we do, some stuff we don't when the boss really ain't here. Working for Hillbilly still, it's laid back and easy, and Mike and Matt are easy to get along to. I mean, they're both smart about what we do and everything else, and they know what they got plans for the day, what we're gonna build, and we're very organized. Working with Matt is pretty good because he's a good boss and he's organized and he knows what we're doing, but he's got to quit this smoking. I don't know how well that's gonna go for us next week, because I think it's gonna stress him out more than what he already is. He's been smoking basically all his life, and now the doctor's got to tell him he's got to hang it up, quit cold turkey. And I don't know how well it's going to be for all those shop people.
So I'm gonna take this, silver solder it in there. And what I'm really thinking is, I'll drill a hole to where that stainless is the only piece sticking out. So it'll, well, I don't have a hole, but it'll fit like that down at the bottom. I got this one, and I've got a shorter one. They didn't have stainless nipple that size, so I had to get brass, but that's okay for this. And anywho, whichever nipple we decide to use, screw right in the center of that, and then right onto that. And then just like we do on our air agitators, our motor,
Yeah.
we'll put us an air nipple here, and then we can control the flow with this. Think that'll be all right?
Yeah.
Of course it will. It's my idea.
Knuckle up saloon watching fight. I wonder what the guys at the shop are doing. I'm figuring they're probably doing some stuff with that catch bait. We'll find out when we get back home. We gotta get back to the fights.
Mike's having a great time at the rally in Sturgis, but he can't help but wonder about what could be going on back at the shop. While his work continues on Matt's special project, he's not the only one with production problems. Steve has now run into troubles of his own, test fitting parts on a new still.
I'd make it one solid. I think I'd make it one solid piece.
Oh,
if you could, if you can. But however you want to do it. Man, oh man. Got to be kidding me. Fix it.
Look at this, just right. Just the handles ain't.
What?
The whole thing
Yeah.
is kind of to the...
But look at the handles, they're pointing up. Might be because it's pointing up sideways so much.
What? There's not even any handles on it. What are you
Right
talking
here.
about?
Those. Don't they look like they're going this way?
Well, of course they do. The whole daggone thing's going that way.
Steve's off
I
limit.
bet I could drill right in your ear and never hit nothing.
Steve's off limit to drilling stainless to copper.
Do what?
Steve's off limit for ferrules.
Well, it depends. Who cut those pieces of pipe?
You sure you ain't got a lazy guy?
He cut them for himself. I didn't cut the 2-inch ones.
Oh, you cut mine. Did you cut them?
No, because I could...
We got ghost walking copper. We got ghost cutting copper. Nobody cut it. Just fix it.
Man, this place is unbelievable. You can't imagine the crazy people we've seen out here, the fun people we've seen. We've seen everything you can imagine, I guarantee you, plus a little bit more. The Full Throttle Saloon, the Knuckle Saloon, Knuckle Up Saloon, Easy Rider Saloon, they've all got different things going on. Knuckle Up Saloon, they had a boxing ring set up inside and actually had fights going on. You could sign up to fight. They had women fighting. It's the craziest stuff in the world. Then we went to a few concerts out at Full Throttle Saloon. Saw some really good bands. Everywhere you go, they got music playing, great bands playing. It was an unbelievable time, man. It blew my mind totally.
So Nathan's an awesome hand. He's the best TIG welder we got. He does an awesome job. He does everything he needs to do, but then sometimes I just want to smack the fire out of him, bless his heart. Watch it! Damn it! Dadgummit. Man, you gotta watch what the heck you're doing, man! You know, he's trying to pull that false bottom out. We got it fit, and it started fighting against him, pulling it out, and instead of looking at what was fighting against him, he just wanted to yank it out, and when he did, he almost broke our whole air agitation system off that we just had it tacked in. And I really wanted to get on him. I actually refrained and held back. I'm trying to get better at that. So he knew I was mad, but he also knew he messed up. So yeah, I was ready to choke him. When you're trying to pull something out and it's pulling back, look and see why. Don't just yank on it. Oh. All right, notch that out and let's see what happens.
After narrowly averting a near disaster, things settle down for Matt and Nathan, and they're able to finally get some work done on their project.
We're in Hillbilly, Wyoming out here. We got the guys back in the shop. I know they're working hard. A little worried about Matt because he likes to take off and do some crazy things when I'm not there. So I'm sure he's trying to build something that I've told him not to. But can't worry about that now. We're fixing to head up to Devil's Tower. Just wanted to check in and let y'all know that I know something's going on in the shop. I can't wait to get home and see what it is.
We can adjust the spacing once we get it done. Well, I thought 20 foot would be more than that, but that'll work.
Well, Matt finishes up the cooling coil, and the plan seems to be coming together until they run into one more challenge.
Perfect. Exactly where it needed to be. So you got to mark where you're going to notch for our airline and for our elements to come in. You notch that, and I need to get this worm. This ain't going to work, dude.
Why?
Damn it. Well, we're going to mount that worm in here permanently, right?
Yeah.
We're going to drill holes through the side and have water in, water out. So that means that once that worm's in there, it's in, right? And it ain't coming out. Do you see the problem with our design so far?
Yeah. You ain't never gonna get that out. The false bottom.
Nope. But what in the hell are we? I guess we'll just have to make the worm removable, which, I mean, it is now. It ain't like we got to redesign anything. And it'll just sit right there, but then we can't cover it.
I want you to notch it out right here. And then it'll sit in more and you can put your lid on it. Or drill holes in the lid up top. It'll be better from the side though.
Well, we can do it either way. No, I think we ought to notch it on the side. I don't think it'll make too much of a weak point. Do you?
No. Not enough for that.
Here's talking 5/8 of an inch down by 5/8 of an inch wide. Should sit right down in there like perfect. Well, that's what we're gonna have to do. For now, we're gonna have to make sure it's where we want it, because once we cut it, by golly, that's where she's gonna go every time. Every time. So let me ask you something. Jordan, you can get in on this too if you know the answer. If we were building a worm condenser for a worm barrel for steel, what would we had to have done differently here and really make sure it was right to keep us from blowing up our steel?
Thinking, hold on.
He's gonna overheat. Huh? What do you got? What do you think?
Somebody pull it.
Well, you're gonna cool it with, all right, let me tell you the difference. Where in this one, we've got a liquid surrounding this that we're trying to cool off, so we're gonna send cold water through this to cool it down.
The other way around.
And a worm
You
hooked
do
to
the
a steel,
opposite,
it's
don't
the
you?
opposite. You use your water outside to cool the vapor inside. All right, if you've got a spot in here, if this worm, I've already got it all braced up here. All right. If this worm does this, no, it'd be up. If this worm came in, because the way it's going to work, your vapor's going to come in here and it would come out at the bottom. This wouldn't be curved up. It would come out at the bottom. So if you got a high spot right here or right down here, and your vapor's coming in, and you got a spot that comes up and does this, then what's going to happen is liquid pools in there.
It's going to back up.
It's going to back up and it's going to blow up your steel. So what do you got to do?
Make sure it's all going.
Make sure it's all constant, even slope down. Now, people can say what they want to about mountain men, hillbillies, or whatever. They were pretty smart to figure that out. I'm sure they blew up a couple of steels figuring out what was going on. We owe them a lot.
Nathan puts the finishing touches on the still, and it appears that Matt might actually survive this ordeal when Mike gets back from Sturgis.
All right, man. This is the last piece. Put this in. What do you think?
I think it'll work. We finished without putting duct tape or baling wire on it, so
Yeah, that's an improvement.
yeah.
Well, I think it'll work, man. It's done. All we gotta do now is put cook a wash in it and prove to Dad it'll work. It ain't the prettiest.
No, but he'll be happy, I'm pretty sure.
I think he will be. He'll definitely be shocked, because I don't think he thought we could do it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's put some water in it and see if it works.
If it don't work, new sprinkler
They're in there.
system.
Where's it leaking at? Anywhere? I ain't but one spot and it's that joint down there.
No, I don't see it leaking at all.
It's hot right now because that hose is hot. Hot water's cooling down. And so is that copper. I think it'll work, man.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was. Had a rake front end, didn't
Man,
it?
that is so sexy. Dude, there's nothing hotter than a chick on a motorcycle. A decent sized chick on a motorcycle. So, you know, it took right about as long as I thought it was going to take to build it. I was worried about it. I was actually worried my time estimate wasn't right, and probably a whole lot of luck in that being right, because normally if you figure on something taking 2 days, it takes 4, and it just so happened the amount of time I had allotted to do this, we got it done in it. You know, we got it done and we tested it, and it performed well, not as well as I had hoped, but it will definitely do the job that we had set out to do with it. You know, Dad's first time in about 5 years that Dad had been gone that long, and he was gone for a week, so I missed him like crazy. You know, he's my best friend, but I was scared to death for him to come home and see what we had done. Even though it worked, you know, you never quite know the reaction. And when I showed it to him and I was like, and told him it worked and how it worked and all, he wanted to get mad at me, but he knew it worked, and he was, I think deep down in there somewhere he was proud, but he's a little reserved on showing it. So I think we did a good job, because I almost got a smile out of him over it. So.
Man, I got to tell you, when we got home, man, I was tired. Probably a lot more tired. I know I was a lot more tired than I was going out. I was really excited going, but nearly as excited coming home. Pretty hard ride. We made it home good. Everything went well on the trip home. Nobody had any trouble. And I get home and kind of got to itching to see what had been going on in the shop. And I get in there, and I knew they would do it. They took one of my new 50-gallon fermenters we had just bought, and they cut it up and put a bottom, made a perforated bottom for a mash tun in it. But I gotta tell you, it turned out really good. I would have never let them do it, but I'm really happy with the way it come out. We got a cooling coil in it, so when your mash gets too hot, you can hook the water up to it and cool it off. And you know, I hate to say sometimes I'm wrong and I won't let them build stuff like they want to, but they did one great job this time. They pretty well blew my mind when I saw it, but I don't know if I want them to know they did that well or not, you know, so. Because I got to keep them in touch, you know, I got to keep them under my thumb a little bit. So they did a really good job, but I may just tell them it's okay.